For thousands of people across Britain, someone is missing from their lives.
I just want my dad, and it hurts not having him in my life.
I want some answers about where I've come from. I've wanted that every single day of my life.
I've got a big sister. Where is she? And why didn't I know about her?
Finding someone when the trail's gone cold can feel like an impossible task. But that's where we step in.
We found your dad.
Really? That's so good to hear.
Offering a last chance to people desperate for help.
Oh! God, no.
From DNA technology to painstaking detective work, we've travelled the world, uncovering family secrets and tracing people that no one else could find. John.
Hi.
Nicky.
Oh my God. He's so beautiful.
And finally answering questions that have haunted entire lives.
Okay.
I love you to death, and I loved you when I didn't know you.
This week, a first for Long Lost Family. A divorced couple bonded by their need to find the son they were forced to give up as teenagers.
We've missed so much of his life. We're never going to get that back.
I can't get over the shame of it. As I get older, it's just got worse and worse.
And a woman haunted by not knowing her birth mother.
She gave me life. Whatever the outcome, I need to know who she was.
Our first search comes from London, and a divorced couple united in the search for their eldest child.
Hello. Even though we're divorced, we're always going to be a family, always.
That was your christening.
But there's one of us missing.
You look so young there, the pair of you, even there.
Yeah. Giving him up was the worst thing we ever done. The guilt sometimes is unbelievable. He is our son. He's missed out on a complete family, having mum and dad and two sisters.
Marion Williams and James McDonnell first met when they were 7 years old, as schoolchildren here in Catford, South London.
I think virtually every day after school we used to play here.
Marion was raised by her grandparents, and James lived 2 streets away with his family.
I used to see her all the time, and then when I was 15, asked her out on a date.
We were really, really in love. First girlfriend and boyfriend. Every opportunity that we could spend together, we did.
But a year into their relationship, the teenagers' lives were turned upside down.
I started to feel really queasy at school during the day. I went to the doctor, then I found out that I was pregnant. It was panic. What were we going to do? Because we were still at school.
Hoping for support, Marion and James turned to their families.
My father was outraged. He kept saying to me, shame on you, shame on you. My family was so against it.
My nan said, if this is what you want, you can go.
In the late 1960s, illegitimate children made up 90% of all adoptions, but Marion and James were determined to keep their baby. In August 1970, their son was born, and they named him Andy.
Just such a beautiful baby. I would just sit there for hours, just staring at him and holding him.
He was just gorgeous. Even though I was only young, the bond was so strong.
Unable to return home to her grandparents, Marion took Andy to stay with her mum, who lived with her partner and 4 young children in a council house in Romford. This is the first time Marion's been back to that house.
And my bed was in that corner. His cot was next to my bed. James would come over and see him every Saturday. I thought we were going to stay here and everything was going to be okay.
Marion cared for her son for 3 months, before the council complained that the house was overcrowded.
The council said either I've got to go and take the baby with me or we'll all have to leave. And I couldn't see my mum and my brothers and sisters thrown out of their home. So I phoned my nan and said, can I come home? And she said to me, you can come home, but you're not bringing it with you, meaning Andy. So I didn't know what to do.
At a time when councils offered little support to unmarried mothers, Marion and James had nowhere else to turn.
It was like some sort of bad dream that you'd wake up in the morning and everything will go back to normal again, but of course it wasn't. It was never going to go back to normal. And I knew I'd have to give him away. I remember sitting on the bed that morning, putting all his bits into bags. I'm trying to hug him as much as possible before they took him. And then the knock on the door came, and my mum went and let them in. And then they picked up Carrie Cott, and they just walked down the path, put him in the car and drove away.
Broke our house. He's gone.
Grieving the loss of their son, the teenagers continued their relationship. But 2 years later, Marion discovered she was pregnant again.
This time, we were determined that no one was going to take our child away.
As they were now 18, Marion and James could marry without their parents' consent. And although they have 2 daughters, Andy's never been far from their thoughts.
Because the 2 girls are so much like you, I always imagine him to be just like you.
Now divorced and both remarried, Marion and James still live with their guilt.
If he finds out that we did go on to have 2 children, especially with Susie just been 2 years later, I worry that he might feel resentful. I just hope that he will understand that we were just so young.
It would have been wonderful if he could have been in these photographs with us.
To give your own baby away. There aren't words to describe how it feels. He's still our son, and we want to have him back in our family.
When Andy was adopted, his name would have been changed. So the first thing we needed was his new name.
But that information can only be accessed by a specialist intermediary, legally allowed to access adoption records.
They discovered that Andy had been adopted by a couple from Essex and that his new name was Simon Day.
But there was no trace of Simon in Essex. So we cast the net wider, searching electoral rolls across the UK for his address.
After 2 months, we had a breakthrough. Simon was found living near Torquay in Devon.
Divorced with 2 daughters, he works as a web designer. I'm on my way to meet him, to break the news that it's not just his birth mother who's searching.
We have never had this before. A couple no longer together, but united in the search for their child. It's going to be massive for Simon to discover that both his parents are looking for him.
And that there is a whole family that he hasn't been a part of. Will he be angry? Or will he accept his parents and sisters into his life?
Simon.
Hello.
Good to see you.
And you.
Shall we sit? So, what was the initial feeling when you found out that Marion was looking for you?
I just couldn't believe it. I'd also spent a long time trying to find her.
Did you?
Just to let her know that I'm happy, I was fine, I've had a good childhood, and I hope she was happy and fine.
You really did have a sense of empathy?
Yes.
For your birth mother?
Yes. I know that I was adopted around 7 months old, and when my daughter was 7 months old, I tried to picture what that would have been like. to have somebody just walk in, pick her up and then take her out of the room. At that point, I realised how dramatic that must have been for Marion, and I just knew I needed to find her to let her know everything was okay.
Well, it's not just your birth mother who's looking for you. It is also your birth father, James.
I wasn't expecting that. Does that mean they're still together?
They did go on to get married.
Mm-hmm.
They're no longer still together, but they're very much together in their efforts to find you.
I hadn't even thought of this. Hadn't even crossed my mind.
She fell pregnant when they were both 16.
Mm.
Their family situations were difficult. There was no alternative but to put you up for adoption. Knowing that they got married, Marion and James are really worried. That's going to be really difficult news for you.
I'm really happy that they were there to support each other. I just pray that they haven't been guilt-ridden all these years. I need to ask the big question. Did they have any other children?
I've got 2 sisters.
Right. Okay. That's amazing. I need to take a break.
Okay. You all right?
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
Let it sink in. You okay?
Yeah, so I just needed a sop.
That's your birth mother. That's Marion.
Oh my goodness. Hello, Marion. After all these years, to finally see what she looks like.
Now, here's a man who looks like you. That's James.
Oh, wow. I can't believe how much I look like him. It's amazing.
There's your sister, Susie. And Stacey.
She looks a bit like me as well. I don't think there's any mistake in where I came from. I can't wait to meet them all. Thank you so much.
Wow. Come here. Come here.
Thank you so much.
Before we tell Marion and James that Simon's been found, our second search is on behalf of a woman desperate to find her birth mother after more than 50 years apart.
I don't know her, but she's my mum. She held and loved me and cared for me, knowing that she would never see me again. There will always be that bit of me that belongs to her, and I need to know who that person is.
What's for tea?
What do you fancy? Maybe do a stir fry or...
Cathie Cutler-Evans lives in Chester, where she runs a barbershop and raises her 3 sons.
My boys, they are my world, totally my world, the 3 of them. And they would never leave the house without giving me a hug and a kiss. And as a single mum, I've done my best, I hope, to be there for them. And that's something that I got from my mum and dad.
That is not you.
That is me.
Cathie grew up on the Wirral, where she had a happy childhood with parents Bert and Anne.
Grandma and Grandad, they'd have been in their early 20s there.
She knew from an early age that she was adopted.
School photo.
But when Cathie reached her teens, she began to ask more questions.
I probably was about 14 or 15. I said to Mum, so what is all this adoption about? You know, where do I come from? And Mum said, well, come upstairs into our bedroom. And Mum and Dad had a big old wooden wardrobe. And inside was this tin box. And Mum said, this is the special box. This is who you were before we got you.
Inside the tin, Cathie found a letter from her birth mother.
To Catherine's mummy and daddy. Please don't ever stop loving Catherine, even when she's naughty. And if ever she asks why I gave her away, please try and help her understand it was because I loved her so much. Thank you once again, and may you always be a happy family. Adrienne. When I first read it, I couldn't comprehend that had come from my birth mother. She obviously really, really, really loved me. It was life-changing because I'd never known about Adrienne, and all of a sudden she was a real person. I needed to know who she was.
Ever since Cathie Cutler-Evans discovered a letter from her birth mother, Adrienne Powell, she's been desperate to find her.
This is where I began. This was how my life started.
Cathie's adoptive mum told her all she knew about Adrienne.
Mum said that Adrienne was 19 when she had me. She was from Birkenhead and she was single. She wanted me to be part of her family, and she couldn't give me that.
Adrienne had given birth to Cathie in Birkenhead in 1964 and cared for her for the first 10 weeks of Cathie's life.
Just think the bond that she must have got with me in those 2 months. You know, after having my 3 sons, the thought that I would have to give one of them away. It's just unimaginable.
When Cathie was 10 weeks old, Adrienne took her to the adoption agency in Liverpool, where Cathie's new parents were waiting.
I suppose that was her point of no return then. It must have been a day of 2 sides. You know, Mum and Dad absolutely elated. And the flip side of that is Adrienne walking away with nothing. Just must have been heartbreaking. Such a long time has passed, but I've still thought about it every single day. And the older I get, the more I think about it.
If anyone deserves anything in the world, it's probably my mum. She's worked so hard all of her life. She's set up her own business, she's looked after all of us. And for her mum to actually see who she is and what she's become, she'd really be so proud.
But despite years of longing, Cathie's no nearer to finding her mum.
Where is she? What is she doing? Did she go on and have a family and I was never spoken about? That to me would just be my worst fear, that I was a secret. She gave me life. I belonged to Adrienne the same as my boys belonged to me. I imagine meeting her and touching her and holding her and having that instant connection. Yeah. And I hope I can do that. I really do.
Cathie had very little to go on in her search, just her birth mother's name, age, and that she came from Birkenhead. Our search for Adrienne Powell drew a blank. So our next step was to go on and see if she got married. We found a marriage for an Adrienne Powell to Douglas Staniford in Cheshire in 1966. It seemed very likely that this was Cathie's mum. So we searched for Adrienne Staniford and discovered some heartbreaking news. Adrienne had died in 2012. Tragically, Cathie would not be able to meet her birth mother. But records did show that Adrienne had 2 other children, a son Mark and a daughter, Anne. It's incredibly difficult when we find out someone's passed away. We don't know what they've shared with their family or whether they've taken their secret to the grave. So the only way to find out is to contact their surviving relatives, and we have to approach that with huge care. Our intermediary contacted Adrienne's children with the news that Cathie was searching and got an immediate response. Mark didn't want to appear on camera, but Anne asked to meet me. Adrienne was very young when she gave Cathie up for adoption. The big question is, did she ever tell Anne about her sister? Or has this come as a total shock? Thanks very much. Married with 4 children, Anne lives in Leighton Buzzard in Bedfordshire. Hello.
Hello.
Anne.
Yes, Nicky.
Yeah, I'm Nicky.
Nice to meet you.
You
Come
too.
in.
Thank you. We have so much to talk about. Did you know that you had a sister?
Yes, always.
Always?
Mum always talked about Catherine. My brother and I grew up talking about her, knowing about her. She was never a secret. Mum tried to find her so many times.
She actually went through the process of trying to trace Catherine.
Yeah. And just kept coming up against a brick wall every time. So, yeah, this is a big deal to be found.
What did you know about her when you were growing up?
Mum didn't want to give her up for adoption. It was 1964. It was a different world.
Yeah.
It was really hard for her to fall pregnant at 19, unmarried, and her family weren't supportive. So she just realised if she was going to give her a decent life, she had to give her up for adoption. It just devastated her, and I don't think she actually ever got over it.
Have you got any photos?
Yeah.
She looks lovely. What was she like?
Oh my God, she was the best mum. She was amazing. This larger-than-life woman. But every time she talked about Catherine, you could see the pain.
Yeah.
She used to write in her diary Catherine's birthday every year.
Did she? Can I see?
Mm.
Oh gosh, Catherine Louise is 18 today.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
every year.
Oh.
For me, it's been like a lifelong dream to meet her. My heart just breaks, though, because it's all Mum ever wanted. And it's just about a little bit too late. I'm so excited to meet her. I'm like, I want to know all about her. I want to know, I like literally want to know everything. Is she married? Has she got kids?
Divorced, 3 boys.
Okay. Oh my God, oh my God. Right.
So you've got 3 boys, 17, 20 and 22.
Oh my God. Oh my God. It's so beautiful. Oh my God. She looks like Mum. She looks like Mum.
Oh, you're shaking. You all right?
She wears lots of black eyeliner like me. Oh my God. That's my sister. Oh my God, meet her. I just need to meet her now.
Divorced couple Marion Williams and James McDonnell are searching for their son, who they were forced to give up for adoption 46 years ago.
Marion and James have been living with the guilt that their oldest child couldn't be part of their family. They've always feared that he might not be able to forgive them. But today, all of that's going to change because their son's been found.
I'm on my way to see Marion and James to tell them that Simon can't wait to meet them all. I'm seeing them at their daughter's house.
Marion.
Yes.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm Davina.
Oh, nice to meet you.
How are you doing? You all right?
Thank you.
Good.
Come in.
Thank you. Thanks very much. It's so lovely that you're divorced, but yet you're here together. You've stayed such good friends, haven't you?
Yeah. Having Andy and the emotional time we went through, I think that really did bond us together.
Must have been so tough.
We were only children, really.
Yeah.
But we had no choice, did we?
Oh no, we had no choice, but it still doesn't get away from the fact that we done that.
Gave him away.
Yeah. We've always worried about what he would think, because we did go on to have 2 children.
That's all we've ever wanted, isn't it?
Yeah. To let him know that he was a love baby and the reasons why we had to do that.
Well, you can tell him, because we found him.
You found him?
Yeah.
Are you joking? Is he okay?
He's really good.
Really?
Is he? That's wonderful.
Oh, sure.
That's all we ever wanted.
Okay.
He's called Simon. He had a great adoption.
Oh,
thank God for that.
Thank goodness.
When he found out from Nicky that both of you were looking, it was such a shock, and it was something that he needed to, process for a bit.
Yeah.
But he is really thrilled and really excited that he's got 2 sisters.
Oh, what absolute fantastic news.
Oh my God. Is that Andy? Oh, now Simon.
He looks so like you, I think.
Yeah.
They all do. None of me.
All these years of wondering, wanting, feeling shameful, what we did, it's just a wonderful feeling.
I still can't believe I'm just sitting here looking at my son.
Oh, I cannot wait to see him.
Today, Marion and James have travelled to Torquay to be reunited with the son who's been missing from their family since he was a baby.
Waited for this for the last 46 years. He was a baby last time I saw him, and now he's a grown man. I just want to tell him that I'd never stop loving him.
I've dreamt of this day for years. Today, I will get a chance to show Simon my love for him. If he acknowledges and accepts that, I think then I will feel the forgiveness that I need.
You ready?
Yes.
I just can't wait to meet them all. When I realised that it was all 4 that were searching for me, that's really special. It's something that really means a lot to me. So I'm feeling really nervous, really anxious, excited, everything.
They're meeting in a cafe close to where Simon lives.
Hello. Mwah. Long time coming. Can hear you. Come here.
Let's sit there, we've got so much to talk about.
You have no idea how nervous I've been.
I can't believe it's happening. It's always been a part of us missing, always.
Yeah.
I'm really glad to hear that.
Yeah. All through the years, our biggest burden was to try and explain to you, you know, the reasons why we had to give you up for adoption. We were just too young.
We couldn't keep you. It was just so cruel.
We thought, would you resent the fact of what happened?
No resentment at all. It makes me immensely happy that you stuck by each other. It really does. And when I heard it was also two sisters looking, that was amazing, because that family bond is really, really important to me.
I know. My son. My son. That hug means everything to me. I've waited 46 years for that. Just to have him back and to hold him. I'm not letting him go anytime soon. Not letting him go.
I'm so proud of you.
There was an instant connection. From the moment I laid eyes on them, it was there, just no question.
Have you got any pictures of you when you were younger?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Show Simon that picture of you at school.
That's me when I was 11.
Oh, my God. Oh, that is totally unbelievable. So alike. Definitely your dad's son.
Yeah.
I am over the moon to finally have Simon back, and I can finally start living my life now without that feeling of guilt.
Hello.
Oh, it's so nice to meet you.
Really nice to meet you too. And you, hello, how are you?
Father and son.
He's so like Dad, it's frightening.
We thought we were like Dad, but there's nothing compared to him. And she's not the oldest anymore, so she can't boss me around anymore.
I feel truly a proper dad now. I'm just looking forward to the years to come.
Just having all of them in the same room with me, that was magical. I already feel part of the family.
I feel at peace. I've got my son back.
Finally, today, our family is complete.
Cathie Cutler-Evans came to us searching for her birth mother, Adrienne Powell. Tragically, we discovered that Adrienne passed away 5 years ago. We've told Cathie away from the cameras the sad news about her mum.
It's heartbreaking for anyone to discover that the person that they're searching for has passed away. And Cathie found this incredibly difficult. But I am bringing her some good news, that she has a sister who is longing to meet her. Hey, Cathie. Oh. Thanks for seeing me. I am so sorry that we couldn't bring you better news about your mum. How have you been?
Very emotional. All I wanted to do was to meet her and to give her a hug. And now I'm never going to get to see her. And that's really hard. Really, really hard.
I just wanted to come and tell you a bit more about her. She spent most of her life on the Wirral.
Oh, so she stayed local.
Yeah, but then she did move down to Leighton Buzzard.
Oh, right, oh, God.
In later life.
So did she marry?
She did marry.
Gosh.
And they did go on and have 2 children.
Wow.
You've got a half-sister and a half-brother. Anne and Mark.
That's amazing. So do they know about me?
They've always known about you.
You were never a secret. Ever since Anne could remember, you were just always her big sister.
And if Adrienne ever tried to find me, or did she?
Would you like to see a photo?
Oh, yeah. Gosh, yeah. Oh, God. I've got her eyes.
You have?
Yeah. What a lovely smile.
Your mum thought about you all the time, and Anne wants to show you diaries that your mum had. And every year your birthday's marked.
Oh, gosh. That's amazing. Oh, I'm shaking.
Here's her.
Oh, wow. Oh, she's gorgeous. I used to be that colour, but I'm so grey now. It's gone blonde. But...
She's written you a letter.
Dear Cathie, I really wish it could be Mum writing this letter to you. Giving you up was one of the hardest things Mum ever did. For the rest of her life, she desperately wanted to be reunited with you. She loved you so very much and never stopped hoping one day she would be able to tell you about face to face. I will promise I will do everything I can to help you get to know how special she was. Oh, my love, her. It means so much. I know I won't get to see Adrienne, but I can't wait to meet her. I always wanted a sister and now I've got one. Thank you.
God, I'm so happy for you. Today, 1 week after discovering that she has a half-sister, Cathie's going to meet Anne for the first time.
Hi, Cathie. How are you doing?
Nervous?
Are you ready?
Excited. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for this.
Okay, let's go.
Let's do it.
Anne has travelled to Liverpool to meet her sister.
Good to see you.
You too.
You looking forward to it?
Yeah.
It's going to be brilliant. Have you thought about what your feelings are about Cathie?
It's really weird because I feel like I know her and I don't at all, but I've known about her all my life, so there's part of me that just feels like she's my sister. I want to find out about her as well. As much as I want to talk to her about Mum, I want to find out about her life and how she's been.
Can you believe it's real?
No. It feels like I've literally waited all my life and now it's happening. It doesn't feel real. So yeah, I'm excited. Just hope she likes me.
What does today mean to you?
All my life I thought that I would meet Adrienne. And it's a really sad day because now I know that I never will. But on the flip side of that, I get to meet a sister that I never knew existed.
Do you feel a bond with her?
As soon as I saw her picture, I just thought, that is my sister. There was just something inside me that felt like we belong together. I just can't wait to see her.
The sisters are meeting in a hotel in Liverpool, not far from where their mother handed Cathie over for adoption more than 50 years ago.
that's where you're going to be meeting his sister, in there.
Okay.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So I'm going to say goodbye here. So your sister's in there.
Thank you so much.
Good luck.
I'm your big sister. You're my little sister. We've all got the same smile.
Same cheek.
Yeah. That's it, we're sisters.
Just looks so like Mum. I know how much she wanted this. Like, she really wanted it so much. She just never, ever stopped thinking about you. Like, never. She wanted more than anything to meet you. Have you been happy? I know that's the first thing she'd ask. Have you been happy?
Really happy.
Have a happy childhood?
Oh, I had the best mum and dad ever.
That's all she wanted.
And as soon as I found out that you'd all known about me, I was so worried about today.
You shouldn't have been. You didn't need to be worried.
I just didn't want to disappoint any of you.
Oh my God, you couldn't possibly. I was worried because I'm not Mum. And I wanted it to be Mum here for you. But it should be.
I know it should.
She would have just loved this so much. You've no idea.
That's hard for us both. But I'm here and I'm not going anywhere now. You're not going to get rid of me now.
You're not going to get rid of me either.
As soon as I saw her, I felt the connection. I just keep squeezing her and hugging her and don't want to let her go.
I just can't stop staring at you. Sorry, it's really... I'm so happy. She's so lovely. She's so lovely. I made you a book.
Oh, you haven't?
Have. Mum, from start to finish. I'll show you.
So tell me about her. How was she?
How long have we got?
We've got the rest of our lives.
Yeah, absolutely. She was raucous and loud. She sang at the top of her voice a lot.
This is absolutely beautiful, Anne. Thank you so much. Adrienne is a real person now, with a face, with a smile, with a personality. Just means so much. I went to college in the Wirral. And
Where did you go?
I went to Colette Park.
So did I. What did you do at Colette Park?
Hairdressing.
I did beauty therapy.
Well, I did hairdressing and beauty therapy for 3 years, yeah. I just know that from today we are going to be a massive part of each other's lives.
I think we're going to be the best friends. I really do. I totally see us being on the phone to each other every single day. Like, every day. FaceTiming, visiting.
She's my sister. Just love her totally. Yeah, love her to bits.
She's my big sister. I totally love her. Yeah, it's going to be great.
Next time on Long Lost Family. A man searching for the child given up for adoption against his wishes.
I want to tell him that I didn't leave you. You were given a wee son. If I'd had my way, it would never have happened.
and a woman hoping to find her mother after a childhood spent in care.